Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here, Pro Wrestling Logic YouTube channel, and the World Class Championship Wrestling Review Series. We moved through December 10th, 1983, and we open with Terry Gordy and Kevin Von Erich. Match we've seen several times. Glittering jacket from Gordy this time out, with the Pride of the South Southern flag on it. And Kevin and Terry have done battle before. Obviously, we're closing out a bit on the Freebirds situation in Texas. Probably by about April or May, they are gone completely from the area. And Kevin goes to work on the arm of Gordy. Actually, one of the better matches between the two. So if you're a fan of either guy, going out of your way to watch this, probably worthwhile. Gordy is on the receiving end of arm bars, and they work the arm for about 2 or 3 minutes. Non-stop does Kevin coming out ahead. I actually like the fact that Kevin is always treated like a big deal in terms of how he uses the arm. Gordy gets crotched on the top rope and gets kicked to the outside by Kevin. Also like the fact that as baby faces are concerned, the Von Erichs never really made to look weak. They will sell, but they always come back into things a little bit. Von Erichs here, the shine not on them as much as it has been. Power moves by Gordy early, and we're at the midpoint of the match. Obviously, Gordy, one of your better big men for the early to mid 80s. I guess early 80s would be most apropos here in 1983. And Gordy trying to back up. You can actually see Gordy putting on a little bit more of the stockier weight than when he came in at the end of 82. High cross body for a near fall by Von Erich, and when he feels like it, Gordy will fly for things like drop kicks and arm drags. Almost an MMA style arm bar put on and arm scissors put on by Von Erich throughout the match. I do like his application when you think that 1983, they don't know nearly as much about him as MMA even as they did 10 years later, but Kevin's arm holds and submissions always looked more, at least to me, more genuine than others in the same ilk. And Terry Gordy brings Von Erich back in with a outside-in suplex. Gordy willing to take any advantage he can get as one of the Freebirds, and he will use whatever he can, including dropping the knee when it fits and other things. And then we see Kevin always battling back. This is a reasonably heavy Von Erich heavy episode here. We do see Buddy Roberts make his way in, distraction, and disqualification win for Kevin as Gordy uses the strap again. We then move to an interview with David Von Erich. David talking about using the claw on Kamala earlier in the foray. They don't really always tell us where that is, but that it's there, and talks about wanting to get at Kamala again. Eventually, Kerry Von Erich says that he has slammed him and there's a $10,000 bounty, which isn't really covered that much on TV. I mention it here because they mention it as though it's been heavily hyped on television, maybe mentioned once, if that, by the commentators at an earlier point. David back in the area after what feels like a longer absence than intended. Kamala, obviously, takes a lot of shots at Von Erich. Kamala's, if you do watch, even in this match, his leapfrogs get exceptionally high upon occasion when he gets frustrated. It's interesting because while David Von Erich sells, he does not oversell, and it's also clear that Kamala sends David out of the ring through the middle rope and whatnot, simply to get an advantage. Kamala uses chokes and other underhanded tactics. I would say that David probably does more selling in this match than most matches we see him in. He uses a bear hug, and then David locks in that claw on Kamala. First time we've really seen Kamala in a compromised position. Akbar interferes, and the claw goes on Akbar. And Akbar is always in the right place at the right time for his man. I will say that he has played very well in managerial role, and obviously a disqualification victory for David Von Erich. And Kerry runs down. Kerry comes in, and this is where he makes the body slam, slides off the back and slams Kamala. This is footage that is used quite a while later, as they have said that there would be a bounty of $10,000 for anyone that can slam Kamala. We then go to the conversation. Chris Adams and Jimmy Garvin hyping their America's title championship match. Garvin says this is, or Adams says this is his chance, and he's beaten Garvin about a dozen times. Sunshine has chosen to accompany Chris Adams. Precious, who I don't know that was ever officially named before this broadcast, maybe I missed it, but Precious now with exclusively with Jimmy Garvin. And so we've got two ladies, one for each gentleman on the outside in this America's Championship match. I actually like the blending of the jacket by Adams, who blends the UK flag and the US flag into a ring jacket. That's kind of cool. Would be a cool collector's item to have. And the match is only given about a little less than 10 minutes here for the America's title. But Garvin has his working shoes on tonight. If you have listened to these audios and this feud, it's been brilliantly done and worth going out of your way to see this match. So simple, so basic, but just body slams and arm bars and the like. They turn it up upon occasion throughout the latter half of the match in terms of Garvin bumping all over the place for Adams, which after months of chasing you would expect there to be, and just a little bit of extra crispness to the arm drags and the like. Obviously we don't see every house show they have, but it's just they brought something, especially Adams, bring something a little bit extra into this match that may not be there every contest. So worth going out of your way to see. Works over the arm for quite a few minutes. Jimmy Garvin, though, sneaks out, gets the chin lock and the front face lock. Front face lock a lot more lethal than people realize in real life, so don't mess with those at home. And I know most people listening to this wouldn't bother, but worth saying anyway, in case there's some youngsters listening. Monkey flip by Adams, and a super kick right under the chin. Out goes Adams Garvin to the floor. And needless to say that Precious is unhappy with this. A victory, though, for Adams, and he is the new champion with only a few minutes to go in the program. This is a several-month build kind of process, and it is where Sunshine manages to pull the hair out of Garvin. Just trips him up, pulls the hair. He slips on a banana peel and goes right after Garvin and costs him the match. The two ladies, Precious and Sunshine, get into it, but nothing is settled there. And Garvin is your former America's champion, and Adams is your new America's champion. So certainly they are going at each other quite vociferously as we are about midway through the month of December in 1983. But we'll be back with more right after this.